Okay, number one, first thing you have to do, use order of operations inside the absolute value. 2 to the third power is 8 minus 3 times 10 minus 3. Bring down your absolute value signs, bring down the 2. Then order of operations inside the absolute value signs. 8 minus 30 minus 3, absolute value. Bring down the 2. Erase this. Subtract straight across. This becomes negative 22 minus 3. Bring down the absolute value of the 2. This becomes 2. The absolute value of negative 25, which is 2 times 25, or answer B, which was 50. Okay, number 2, 13 over 3 minus 7 over 6. Before you can subtract these two fractions, you have to find a common denominator, so I'm going to use 6. So that means I have to change the denominator of the first fraction to a 6. So 3 times 2 gave me 6, so therefore I need to multiply 13 by 2 to get 26. Then I can subtract straight across. 26 minus 7 is 19 over 6. None of my answer choices are improper fractions, so I convert 19 over 6 to a mixed number. 6 goes into 19 3 times without going over, and I get a remainder of 1. So my mixed number is 3 and 1/6, which is answer choice A. Question 3, absolute value equation. When solving an absolute value equation, you need to set up two separate equations. So 1 minus 7t equals positive 3, or 1 minus 7t equals negative 3. And we have to solve both. So I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides to get negative 7t equals 2. Divide by negative 7 on both sides. T equals negative 2 over 7. Or subtract 1 from both sides of the second equation. Negative 7t equals negative 4. Divide both sides by negative 7. T equals positive 4 over 7. So my answer choice for number 3 was C. Number 4 said, which of the following lines is horizontal? Horizontal goes side to side, from left to right, or through the y-axis. So the answer here would have been A, y equals 4. And then for number 5, if you want to graph that line, you have to show a straight line that goes across or through the y-axis at 4. Number 6 said, if f of x equals 4x squared minus 3x plus 2, what is the value of f of negative 2? So you had to substitute negative 2 wherever you see an x in the function. It's important then to know that now you follow order of operations. So the first thing you do, you look for parentheses. We can't simplify anything inside the parentheses. So now we have our exponent, which is negative 2 to the second power. This becomes 4 times 4. Negative 3 times negative 2 becomes positive 6 plus 2. So f of negative 2 equals, follow order of operations, 4 times 4 equals 16, plus 6, plus 2. And I can just add straight across. 16 plus 6 plus 2 gives me 24. Next one I had to solve, railroad tracks. First I distribute 5x minus 5 minus 14 plus 4x equals 3x minus 1. Combine like terms, 5x and 4x is 9x. minus 19 equals 3x minus 1. Combine my x's, so I subtract 3x from both sides. So negative 1 equals 6x minus 19. Then I combine my constants, or I add 19 to both sides. Cancels, we're left with 6x equals 18. Divide both sides by 6. X equals 3. Number 8. Railroad tracks distribute negative 12r plus 24 equals negative 36. Subtract 24 from both sides. This cancels. We're left with negative 12r equals negative 60. Divide both sides by negative 12. R equals 5. Number 9 says, which of the following is the equation of the line that passes through the point 2, negative 4, and negative 2, 8? I would make a table, and I would put this first point in the table, so I have 2, negative 4. Then I would put this second point in the table, so I would put negative 2 and 8. Then I want to find the change in y over the change in x, or my slope. So the y's are changing by, to get from negative 4 to 8, the y's are changing by 12. And the x's, to get from 2 to negative 2, are changing by negative 4. So my slope, 4 goes into 12 3 times, negative 3. So negative 3 is the first value that I put inside my table, times my first x value, which is a 2. Negative 3 times positive 2 is negative 6, plus 2 gets me to negative 4, so my equation would be y equals negative 3x plus 2, or answer choice B. Number 10 said evaluate a squared plus 3b minus 2c if a equals 2, b equals 4, and c equals 6. So each of those variables, make sure you substitute correctly and then evaluate. Order of operations, 2 to the second power is 4. Okay, then I can multiply, so it becomes 4 plus 12 minus 12. 12 minus 12, that's going to cancel or equal 0, so I know that my answer is 0. Oh, next one. Wait, did I do that correct? 2, 4, yeah. 11. Which equation best represents the graph? So the answer choice is D. The one that looked like it could have been the correct answer was B, but if you pay attention, it says x equals 2 over 3y plus 1. And this is not in slope-intercept form, because it's y equals 2/3 x plus 1. For number 12, which value when multiplied by 3 2/3 results in a product of 1? You have to first convert 3 2/3 to a mixed number. So 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11 over 3. Okay, then in order to multiply 11 over 3 by something that will give me 1, okay, I multiply 11 over 3 by the reciprocal, which is 3 over 11, because I know that if I multiply straight across, 11 times 3 is 33, over 3 times 11, which is 33, which reduces to 1. So my answer here is 3 over 11. 13, 1/2 of a number subtracted from 30. Remember, when you see subtracted from, that means that you're taking 1/2 of a number away from 30, so you write it as 30 minus x over 2, or 1/2 x. The equation for number 14 was y equals negative 1/2 x. Whoops. Negative 1/2 x plus 2. The y-intercept was 0, 2. For 15 and 16, in order to find out what the slope and the y-intercept were, you had to first transform this equation from standard form to slope-intercept form. So subtract 3x from both sides. You're left with 4y equals negative 3x plus 16. Divide everything by 4, and y equals negative 3 over 4x plus 4. So 15 the slope, negative 3/4. The y-intercept was the point 0, 4. (17) said graph the line y equals negative 1/3 x plus 4. So if I made a quick sketch of the graph here, I know that my y-intercept is 0, 4, so I go to 1, 2, 3, 4 on the y-axis, plot a point, and then my slope is negative 1/3, so I go down 1 on the y-axis and over 1, 2, 3. Down 1 again and over 1, 2, 3. I keep this pattern going, down 1, over 1, 2, 3. Okay? And if I wanted to continue the line in the opposite direction, I would go up 1 and over 1, 2, 3. Then I connect my points with the straight line. Number 18 said identify the first incorrect step in the solution below and explain the mistake. So if you look at step, let's see, negative 2 is 4n. If you look at step 2, they were supposed to add 2 to both sides, in which case you would get 5n plus 36 equals 14n. So step 2 was the error, because instead of subtracting 2 from both sides, they were supposed to add 2 on both sides. 20, the first property shown is the commutative property of addition. The second property shown is the associative property of multiplication. For 21, the domain is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The range is 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, 21. And lastly, 22, you were to identify the error, the first step that the error occurs. And the first step that the error occurs is step 3. Again, when they combine 2x and 8x to get 10x, when you move across the equal sign, that means if you want to get rid of 2x from this side, you have to subtract, and you would have to subtract 2x from the other side. So it should be written as 6x minus 14 equals 4. So instead of adding 2x to both sides, they should have subtracted 2x from both sides. And that is it.